Hi everyone, this is Brad Wood, another video in our What's New in Commandbox 4 screencast series. Check out our blog post here that we released as part of our release candidate that has an overview of all the new cool things in Commandbox 4. Today is a pretty easy one. I want to talk about debugging server starts, which isn't necessarily new in Commandbox 4, but it's getting a little bit of an improvement in this last version. This is all covered in the docs under Embedded Server and Debugging Server Starts, but I get a lot of questions that go along the lines of, hey, I tried to start a server and it won't start. Um, so this shouldn't need to be a mystery. Every once in a while you'll have a server and you're like, hey, I would like to start the server, and you're on the start command, and Commandbox says, okay, sure, great, server is being started, right? But that fires asynchronously, so the actual server process is firing off in the background. And the problem is your server will never come back online. So it says it started it, but where did it go? So the first thing to do is to check out the server info command. This doesn't tell you too much that Commandbox Bullet Train doesn't, but it'll confirm the status of the server, if you're in the right directory, the port that it's running on. Occasionally you can get some more information if you add the verbose flag to this. This will show you all of the JVM parameters that were used to start the server, but this still doesn't always tell you the error message. So the solution to this is very easy, and that is usually in almost every case to simply add --debug to your start command. So that'll do two things. First of all, it will retain all the intermediate debug messages on the screen while the server was starting. Plus, it will tail the the servlet's outlog file until the server finishes coming up. So here's the full debugging output of the start command, and then this is where the server actually starts spinning up. And of course, now we see our error. Could not create Java virtual machine. Fatal exception occurred. Unrecognized option --foo. Oh, oops, where did that come from? Yep, and right here you can see in my JVM arguments, I have a totally fictional JVM arg called foo, which of course I put into my server.json file just to create something that would keep the server from starting. So just throwing that --debug in almost all cases, if there's something wrong with the JVM args or Java or ports or something that's stopping your server from coming online, this will tail that servlet outlog long enough you'll most likely see what the problem is. So let's actually fix this here. Let's go ahead and just do server clear JVM. All right, so with that gone, my server should actually start up. The second thing you can do, which is very handy, is to do a console start. --console. This will actually start your server in the foreground, so there's no asynchronous process kicking off in the background, but your shell will actually get bound to the server process, and it'll tail until you kill the server, that servlet outlog, directly right here to the screen. So my browser's popping up here. Let's get rid of the browser. We don't need that. So as long as the server is running, this will sit here in console mode and tail that servlet outlog. And when we're done, the way we stop the server, or one of the ways we can stop the server, is by hitting Control C. And since the server is bound to our terminal session, Control C will stop tailing the log and will stop the server at the same time. Now you can double these up. You can do a console start, meaning start it as a foreground server and also add in debug. You'll get even more messages dumped out to the screen in addition to the console start. And if you really want to get the fire hose of every last scrap of debugging information Commandbox can possibly muster, you can add the --trace flag. So this is fire hose mode right here. Start, console, and trace. This will give you just oodles of information on the screen regarding where your server.json file was looked up, where all the settings were resolved to, all the JVM arguments and everything, aliases that were all loaded into Runwire. Give me the browser, opening up. Back to our console, and of course it'll stay here in the session. What's also nice about being in this mode is that every time you refresh the browser, let me just reopen the browser again, every time you refresh the browser, you will see additional information being output to the screen. So if I go side by side and just hit the F5 key, you can see there's information flying by in the console every time I hit it. Of course, in trace mode, there's a redonkulous amount of information visible, but just beware of using the trace flag. And of course, Control C stops our server. So remember those three things. The throw in that debug flag will probably tell you any errors you're getting, and of course the ability to start in the console, or if you really want it, the trace. There's another video I've done on server logging files as well for rewrite logs and access logs. So check out that video. And that's all I have for today. So have a good one, guys.